Am I gonna be able to talk today officially? I don't know.
I don't know. Let's see it.
Live from in between
Oh,
two inefficient space heaters. Although Google wanted me to change it to insufficient, but I guess that works too. It's a
true.
lightly seasoned edition of Biz Nuggets, joined as always by Emma, always lurking, and Matt transitioning to the metaverse, Mascardi. I think that's where he is.
Somewhere there. They're multi. Which metaverse though? There are a
I
lot.
don't know. I don't know.
Decentraland.
The Disney based metaverse. I'm
Nah.
the bedraggled, unchosen one. In today's It's Almost Friday bag called January 27th, 2022, we update some of our favorite stories. Damien becomes an economist.
Huh?
And yeah, that's why I'm wearing this shirt. You notice I have a button down shirt on?
You're right. That is
And my
strange for you.
free float economist hat.
All
Very
right.
professional. I'm very professional. And
For
Emma
sure.
talks about her favorite SNL host.
Oh, I do. That's true.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay.
Follow-ups part 1. Here we go. All stories we've covered before. We don't want to leave you hanging. The Kroger strike is over.
Yay.
And some workers will get a $5 an hour raise.
Some.
Over 8,000 Kroger's workers in Colorado have ended their strike and ratified a new 3-year contract. Per the union, the contract has the most significant wage increase ever secured by a UFCW local for grocery workers, with some workers receiving an increase of over $5 an hour. The union also said that it negotiated better health care, stricter safety measures, and pension protections for workers. The workers went on strike January 12th and reached a tentative agreement on January 21st. 9 days.
That's
9
efficient.
days. It's a lot. They got a lot. It's cool.
Especially for a record-breaking
It's awesome.
effort. Yeah.
All it took was 9 days. Next story. New York City food delivery workers win fight for bathroom access, greater tip transparency. App-based food delivery workers in New York City are celebrating the implementation of a law guaranteeing the ability to use the restroom during work hours.
Good God.
Laws allowing delivery workers access to most restaurant bathrooms, as well as creating greater tip transparency, were passed last year and went into effect on Monday. Other changes implemented this week prohibit apps from soliciting a tip from a customer unless it discloses the amount or proportion of each tip provided to the delivery worker. I don't know why I always ask that. I always ask that. The other thing is that they must be informed the manner in which the tips are provided, whether immediately or not, and whether in cash or not. I always ask that too. I'm just saying.
I'm happy about this.
Okay. All I'm going to say is this. I'm going to repeat. The ability to use the restroom during work hours. Something they literally had to fight for. Insert flabbergasted / angry / relieved / what the fuck is wrong with the world emoji here.
I'm really glad that this is happening in the place that I live because I ask myself that question about how much of a tip is actually going to my delivery person. I have a lot of messy thoughts about it. So this is good. I'm very happy for them and for me. Anyway, here's the headline. Elon Musk offered a 19-year-old $5,000 to take down a Twitter account that tracks his private jet. Well, I found my new favorite Twitter account. I highly suggest going to look at it. It is amusing for whatever reason. I don't really know why it's amusing, but it is. So 17 hours ago, Elon landed in Austin, Texas on a flight from Hawthorne, California. Wonder if he's going to make some employees work over an important national holiday or something. 3 days ago, Elon took off from Hawaii and landed in Austin again. If anyone thinks that Elon actually cares about the environment, I would highly recommend going to this Twitter account and seeing just how frequently this man flies. Elon messaged the owner of this account, Jack Sweeney, asking him to delete the account out of concern for his own security. He was worried that he was going to get shot out of the sky, apparently.
Stop it.
Jack, in response,
no,
he was afraid. He did say something to Jack in this correspondence about being afraid of getting shot out of the sky. Jack, in return, asked for a Model 3 Tesla. Good for Jack. Tough negotiator. Elon offered him $5,000 and he countered with $50,000. Elon then expressed how unimpressed he is with Jack's lazy data collection from air traffic control and ghosted him. I would quickly like to plug Jack. Yeah, he ghosted him. He said he'd think about it and then he ghosted him. I would quickly like to plug Jack's new venture that covers multiple private jets, including the NASA planes and the second SpaceX private jet. Jack is doing great work. Go support Jack.
That's a weird story, Emma.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it great?
I guess it is great, but I just find it odd. And I find it odd that a quintuple, I don't even know what it is, a tri blah 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 Google blog blah, 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 billionaire would see the difference between 5,000 and 50,000.
That's another question, is if he really wants to take it down, he could 100% just give him a Model 3 for that matter as well.
Follow-ups part 2. Here we go.
All right.
Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition target, Activision Blizzard, has declined to voluntarily recognize a new union called the Game Workers Alliance, set up by the group of 34 workers at Raven Software, a subsidiary of Activision Blizzard. I just thought it was funny that this was news. Wake me up when a corporation voluntarily recognizes a new union request.
Yeah, that article only needs like a sentence.
Speaking of unions, Amazon union has sufficient signatures for New York election. Amazon workers at a facility in Staten Island have collected enough signatures to hold an election on whether to join a union, according to U.S. labor officials. Under federal rules, labor organizers must sign up at least 30% of affected employees. Amazon spokesperson Kelly Nantel said, "We're skeptical that there are a sufficient number of legitimate signatures." Damn, Kelly.
Oh, come on.
AKA Amazon. Tell us what you really think.
And they think that they're forging signatures?
I guess it's a bunch of liars. Aren't they? Isn't that Amazon essentially saying that these workers are just a bunch of jerks and losers and liars and cheats?
Yeah.
Do you really want to say that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They should just say that, honestly. And speaking of follow-ups, here's my follow-up of the week. Earlier this week, Neil Young, our favorite Neil Young, made a statement against vaccine misinformation by asking Spotify to remove his catalog from their platform if they did not take down Joe Rogan's podcast. In his letter, Neil said that Spotify could have Rogan or Young, but not both. Well, it didn't take Spotify very long to make a decision, and they are going Rogan by a long shot.
Of course.
Spotify's official statement was, "Neil, we'll take your 6 million listeners a month and raise you 11 million listeners an episode. Have a nice life, you ancient communist." The last thing I'll say about this story is that while the Spotify CEO, the mysterious Spotify CEO, only made $450,000 last year, their chief content officer, Dawn Ostroff, made $7.5 million. Dawn, I assume that this was in your realm of control. It's truly a shame that you are picking a man who just said that only people deepest, darkest part of Africa can call themselves black, over a man who wrote a song shitting on Starbucks. But someone has to pay that hefty salary, I guess, and it's certainly Joe over Neil, so whatever.
Well, the CEO of Spotify is also the founder and owner of Spotify, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So,
that
yeah,
$450,000 a year
doesn't really need
probably
that money.
doesn't.
Yeah, that's just to like help him get rid of his earwax or whatever. I noticed that Spotify didn't exactly take a lot of time to negotiate this. They were just
no,
like,
it was a day.
Screw you, Neil. Yeah, they're just like F
They
you,
basically
Neil.
said, we want to give everyone access to all the world's music, but Neil decided to go. We hope to have you back sometime. That's all they said.
Bad choice, Spotify. All right. Finally, this section is called "The Economy" by economist Damian Rollis. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Here we go. I'm ready. Got three stories about the economy. Here we go. First one. World's 10 richest men doubled their wealth during pandemic, Oxfam reports. Their wealth jumped from $700 billion to $1.5 trillion at an average rate of $1.3 billion per day. Oxfam called the inequality, quote, economic violence, unquote, and said inequality is contributing to the death of 21,000 people every day due to a lack of access to health care, gender-based violence, hunger, and climate change. That's it. It's bleak, but I wanted to introduce the term economic violence as it may help to broaden the understanding of why we keep barking about CEO pay ratios and income inequality. Come on, that's a good one. Economic violence. Evocative.
I like it a lot.
Bleak, but yeah. All right, moving on.
I'll take it.
See, I'm an economist now. See?
Yeah, you can just call yourself an economist, and turns out you can be an economist that way.
I realize I can't. I put the hat on. I put the button-down shirt on. It's all
perfect.
good. Here we go. Here's the next one. It's time to buy the dip, as any further weakness in stocks is an opportunity to ride the upside through the rest of 2022, Goldman Sachs says.
Goldman Sachs says. I guess it must
Explain
be
to me again how the stock market is not just a bunch of degenerate gamblers.
The phrase "buy
Really,
the
explain
dip"
to me.
gives me nightmares.
And finally, the Fed hints it will soon raise interest rates as inflation lingers at its highest level since 1982. The central bank announced it would hold its benchmark interest rate near zero and maintain its current pace for tapering emergency asset purchases. The purchase program is slated to end in early March, opening the door for the Fed to raise the benchmark rate. So let's dig in to the potential market effects of this seismic decision. Oh, wait, no, I'm just kidding. Raise your hand if you thought I was about to give you a lecture on raising interest rates during lingering inflation, because you're fired.
Not me. I was not ready for that.
See, the economist, right? See how it goes? That's it.
You should.
That's the show.
Basically have a PhD. All right. And lastly, turns out working in Amazon warehouses sucks so much that Amazon had to bribe employees to gaslight the public about it on Twitter. However, this program is no more. This is the headline. Amazon stopped paying warehouse ambassadors to gush about work in tweets. The program was shut down and they wiped all their propaganda posts from the internet, basically. Maybe Amazon figured out that you can't fake good press when your employees are forced to pee in bottles. Maybe Amazon has decided to put the money into maybe Amazon has decided to put the money they were paying the ambassadors for positive tweets into healthcare or overtime. Maybe this is the first step towards a new, more ethical Amazon. Nah, just didn't work well enough. Come on. Anonymous sources said that Amazon didn't think that the program had good enough reach. Good enough reach? That doesn't really feel like the problem. Listen to this tweet as an example of what an ambassador would post. I feel proud to work for Amazon. They've taken good care of me, much better than some of my previous employers. That sounds like an indentured servant writing a letter to their mom with their sadistic employer looking over their shoulder. If they're gonna pay their employees for propaganda, at least make it believable, for God's sake.
I kind of bought that one. I mean,
still much better. They have to bash the previous employers, no less.
Here's how jaded I am. I'm with you on the Amazon hate, but I also realize that from some of the other stories we cover, there are a lot of employers that are much worse than Amazon. I'm not saying that gives Amazon the right. I'm just saying maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a legitimate
if that's your take, then I'm revoking your title of economist.
I don't know what's going on. All right, come on. I didn't even know you had a third story, so what do you want from me? Okay, come on, I'm done. We're done.
All right. That was Damian Rollis. I'm Emma Lurking. This was Business Pants. We will be back at you tomorrow with our Friday show, joined by Ari, the Data Queen. And we will still be missing our angry pundit, Matt Moscardi, but he'll be missing, but I don't think you'll
be missing. We won't
if you catch my drift. All right. See you tomorrow. Thanks for listening as always. Catch you later.